I'm a political activist who fights against Russian occupation of Georgia, gender balance and human rights. I love strong emotions. I was born to create visual emotions. I want to help building a Georgia where women are not hidden but recognized heroes. I love my country. I feel obliged to be a part of the building of its identity. I do that through my art. My dream is to live a longer life, to create more arts and more stories. I feel I was already born as an artist. I simply had to add some techniques to help me execute my art, the art of passing on messages through images and provocation. Balancing between learning arts and living from it has never been easy. But I go to bed every day feeling accomplished and free. Freedom matters more than money. I want to create all the time. I love the sound of spray. Shh. It's like listening music for meditation. It helps me concentrate. My dream is to reach people's hearts and minds with my art, change realities and perceptions to make humanity kinder and more gentle with each other. I love the metallic sound of the bottle. Tack, 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 tack. It's like a timer. Graffiti is a great way of communicating concepts to larger audience. They reach everyone unconditionally. You don't need to enter an art gallery. They are there where you live, where you walk, where you kiss your partner. Graffitis give artists the opportunity to send a message about social problems in the most democratic manner. You don't need a big Instagram account or TikTok to be heard. You have the street. I need to be fast. My heart starts beating as the sun starts rising. I'm running out of time. Then I'm home, having a shower and thinking that there is probably someone out there in the street already seeing what I have done. Hopefully changing the perception of someone. Hopefully making Georgia a better place.
So Blue Shield is about preserving cultural heritage, also spreading information about the values of the heritage and the various threats that cultural heritage, both tangible and intangible, are facing. I recall the happy summers with my family at the seaside. Laughter, lots of laughter, lots of sunsets by the sea. I cherish all those memories. But there is one summer spent in Abkhazia that I cherish more as the time goes by. Now the region is not accessible for us Georgians anymore. These places are in our dreams, our memories. I had my very first international experience at a quite young age. I got to go to the US at the age of 15. It was 1996 and Georgia had regained independence from the Soviet Union. No surprise, not many people knew about my tiny little country. I still painfully recall being referred to as a Russian exchange student. When they steal your identity, it's almost as if you had nothing, no face, no memory, no soul. So when I think about the Russian occupation of Georgia, my first feelings and emotions are helplessness, anger, grief. So nowadays we have two territories of Georgia, Abkhazia and Ossetia, that have been occupied. This contributes to 20% of Georgia's territory, in fact. And hundreds of thousands of Georgians had to flee. So these people are refugees in their own country. They left everything behind. And they dream every night of their homes and the lives they've had there. One of my objectives in life is to make sure that the past is not forgotten, that it is appreciated, studied, and preserved for our future generations to come. If we do not know where we come from, it becomes harder to know where we are heading to. Someone with little understanding of his or her past has limited vision of the future. We owe this as well to our future generations. If we do not record, preserve for them the past and the present, we're sending them blindly through life. There are entire generations in Georgia that have always been in a constant struggle. They struggled through the Soviet times. They struggled through the Civil War and the war against Russia. Some had to flee from their homes. And even nowadays, they still struggle making a decent living. Women are real fighters in this country. Women like Nana are a good example of having to juggle between the real job as a researcher at the university and as a handicraft producing slippers. Georgian women are quite distinct, quite strong and resistant. Most prominent, King Tamar, we call her king, Queen Tamar from the 12th century. And she reigned at the period when Georgia was at its height. And so it was kind of the golden age for Georgia during her reign. But we also had, in the short-lived Georgia's first republic in 1918, we had women who were elected in the parliament. And we had voting rights in our constitution, in our first constitution for women. And nowadays, we see a lot of women taking high positions, and it's hard, but you see them everywhere in every sector. There are very many women and strong and strong-minded women out there who are doing a great job in everyday life. They are maybe not visible so much, but really a lot of the success or the development and progress is lying on their shoulders, so to say, is the result of their hard work.
Tali maqwas daudageba meshen genatswalebi lalebi maqwas gastwalebi Tali maqwas daudageba meshen genatswalebi Tila tu binadia Kolashi tzetzeli minatia
I think I'm a bit of a hipster in a formal dress and a high heels. Thank you for your time. We at the Ministry of Environment Protection and Agriculture of Georgia highly appreciate the support that GSED provides to us in the climate policy making because we advance our policy together with you, and the NDC and Climate Strategy and Action Plan is a really very good example of that cooperation.
It is not easy to be a high-level official at the ministry. Especially at the beginning of the career, I experienced some sexist treatment. I had to work harder to show I was not there just for an appearance. And I think everyone has realized that by now. Maia is a mother, a wife, an environmentalist, a climate diplomat and the lead negotiator. Sometimes my friends say, your kids have a mom who is also a kid. I'm not a traditional mother. I enjoy spending time with them. We play a lot. Sometimes I'm a daughter and they are parents. Sometimes I'm a dance instructor, doctor, princess, or whatever. I'm interested in everything, from painting, hiking and dancing, to modeling climate data, and even modeling myself. Yes, I have been an occasional model myself in the past. I love the sensation of being under a totally different skin.
So for me and for us as a country, it's really very important to have very sustainable development and a climate smart development, I would say. And a very good example of this climate smart development is exactly the place where we are. This is a very interesting concept, actually. There are several ideas behind this zero-emission building that we are in. There is the cider production. There is also a training center, which includes not only the construction and the building itself, but also the production and everything that they use. Whether it's the renewable energy or it's the reused water or energy efficient stoves and etc. Georgia wants to be a carbon neutral country by 2050, which is really ambitious targets, we understand, but also we see that we have a potential to be the carbon neutral country. We are proud that we have majority of our electricity, and in majority I say 85% of Georgian electricity grid is renewable, and with our commitments through the UNFCCC and the Paris Agreement, we plan to increase the share of the renewable.
In summer, I enjoy the sound of the crickets. I also get hypnotized with the sound of the rain and mesmerized with the snowflakes falling from the sky. Admiring the beauty of the nature at sunrise or listening to its mysterious sounds at night reminds me we humans are not the owners of this world and that we must live in a harmony with it. If you treat this planet well, it will reward you with life. If you do not, your days here are counted. My spiritual leader is Inanna, the Sumerian goddess of sensuality. Sumerians believed that everything, love, leadership, war, and everyone, me, you, they, have a true self, which is hard to find. But if you find it, if you find yourself, then you live in a harmony. I think I have found a responsibility in life, which is to combat climate change in Georgia. I believe we need a greener spaces in Georgia to be happy. There are quite many challenges in Georgia related to climate change. Very important and acute one is climate hazards, which are the floods, flash floods, avalanches. And what we have analyzed so far is that almost half of Georgian population lives under the threat of the climate hazards. And during the last 20 years, it has resulted in huge economic losses, around 3 billion Georgian lari, and people's life, around 152 people's life. On the other side, it comes the mitigation of the climate change, which is also challenging for a country like Georgia. And here we mean the uptake of the new technologies, because in order to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions, we need to have the new technologies in the country. While Georgia still being in the middle income country, it's really hard for us to have the proper financial resources to implement all those initiatives. Often Georgia relies to the international financial support, the donor funds, and so on, in order to be able to somehow deal with these challenges. I want to work for my country to be better, greener, and happier.
You know that if our grandma will be here, she will be super happy to see what we have done. Do you remember she was talking about those lands and in their ownership, and they were having vineyards there, and then just some people cut it
I
down.
kind of remember that story, but not like super clearly.
How, like,
What was that about? Because
Yeah, it was
she was
like
always talking about that, and you were the one who was listening. But I
yeah,
was,
yeah, because I'm the oldest actually.
I wasn't really paying attention.
Yeah, she was
That's
always
weird.
kids just remember it was like that before Soviet
Soviet.
Union. It was like that in our ownership. We had then this, we have these
Yeah, that's just
practices, we have
crazy.
this. Yeah, those lands we were just replanting. They were used for just like cow grass for a long time. But before that, she was talking that there was really, really brilliant vineyards and the varieties of Tolgori and Grahona over there. And
Yeah.
she'll be very proud.
Wine is a form of expression. Our land expresses itself through the wine it produces. We drink it, and we start seeing the world from a more earthy perspective. Wine is important to the Georgian culture. It unifies our minds and spirits. It makes us feel one country, depurated from bad sentiments. Our ancestors, 8,000 years ago, found the gift of wild vines in the forest and started cultivating them to vitis vinifera. They crushed those grapes into the heart of earth again, in clay pots, to free the spirits. We owe respect to that process that started several millennia ago.
And like, do you know that I don't speak French, but I got so nice call from France. It was all about the our wines, and I was saying d'accord, merci, merci beaucoup,
Oh wow,
ça va.
that's crazy.
And some of the few words I know, but yeah, it was so nice.
I mean, each year we try to keep this traditional Georgian style of winemaking, and then we try to add something new. And it's so interesting is that like what's gonna be after this 15 years, like which kind of experiments we will figure it out to do. Because I mean, the patent was a crazy idea
Yeah,
on the
very
beginning,
good.
but yeah, it was like cool and rosé
So
as well.
cloudy.
But yeah.
And what do you think that if me and you are in Palma de Mallorca, in one of the best restaurants over there, drinking our wines and having a 1 week of holidays until harvest?
Oh my
That
goodness.
would be awesome.
Oh my god, that's just like crazy. But you know, okay, in that case, you're gonna pay the bill.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna do that.
I run this vineyard together with my sister Gvantsa and my little brother Georgi. This has been a family business for 3 generations. And family is at the core of it. At Baia's Wine, we do produce 5 indigenous grape varieties, which is really interesting to our terroirs, and at the same time we take care of them with the organic way, and we feel really in love with the method we are using. And also what makes our wines really special is that we macerate them in clay pots, which is into the ground, and we do maceration for 1 month, for 8 months, depends on the terroir and also depends on the vintage we have. And that is the way we feel in love with winemaking techniques. And that is the way where we bring those grapes and grape juice back to the nature and back to the earth again. Why don't you try and tell me what you think about it?
Beautiful wine. It's I think it reminds me to autumn somehow. It's like the humidity from autumn. And funny, I mean, it brings this thought of childhood, of me walking over the fallen leaves from the trees and crushing them, and you know how they release the scent, their soul in a way. So that's what I'm thinking right now after tasting this amazing wine.
Wow, that sounds really poetical.
Thank you so much.
We pour love into each and every vine, and the plants reward us back with love in the form of wine.
Gulashi tzetzcheli minatia Vitamena magara vegara momitamenia Sikawa ruli zeneli Vitamena magara vegara momitamenia Sikawa ruli zeneli La lebi maqwas ki gaustalebi Twali maqwas taudageba Meshen genatzalebi La lebi maqwas ki gaustalebi Twali maqwas taudageba Meshen genatzalebi Hila tu binadia Gulashi tzetzcheli minatia Sadara viqa tzamali veravi shove Mom Klaus shenisi shore Sadara viqa tzamali veravi shove Mom Klaus shenisi shore La lebi maqwas ki gaustalebi Twali maqwas taudageba Meshen genatzalebi La lebi maqwas ki gaustalebi Twali maqwas taudageba Meshen genatzalebi
My dream is to see Georgia, my country, get fully integrated into European Union, where it belongs.